Hello, hello, everybody. How are you all doing? I hope that you are doing fantastic. We've got Elisa here. Hi, Lisa. Good evening, Kat Reeds. Hello, Alicia, how are you? Hi, Christian. Good evening. I am so excited to talk to you guys about Bait and Witch. Hold on. Cleo is demanding her presence here. I know. How dare I start talking to your friends without you? Oh my goodness. She's so melodramatic. She's like, excuse me, they're really here to talk to me, Mom. Hey, Renee, how are you? Hey, MB. I'm so excited to see you guys and talk to you guys. For some reason, I feel like it's been even longer than a month. I don't know. I feel like it's been like forever and a day, really. I do. How's everybody doing? I'm so excited to chat with you all tonight. I just got my tea ready. I'm so cold today. April, you're finally here. How are you? Guys, I am so excited to chat with you all tonight. Hello, Cleo. She goes, my rightful place. She is just a thing, isn't she? So we are going to be talking about, doing great. How are you, Courtney? I'm doing pretty good. Pretty good. Just got done with Thanksgiving break. How is everybody's holiday if you celebrate Thanksgiving? Not gonna lie, it's not my favorite holiday. You guys know what my favorite holiday is, Christmas. But we got to spend time with family, and it was good getting to see some people meeting Nick for the first time, because even though he's a year old, I have some family that we don't see very often. So they got to meet Nick for the very first time, which was awesome. This time of year flies by. Going to the Arboretum tomorrow for Christmas lights. Yes, I finally had. So I don't know if you guys will consider this a shock, but I grew up with not a lot of money. And like my family, we did not have a lot of money growing up. And so when it came to like celebrating Christmas, like I've never had Christmas lights on my house before. And I'm 33. And for the first time in my life, I have Christmas lights on my house that I am so excited about. Like it brings the most genuine smile to my face every single time I see my house now. I never knew that was something that I was missing, but I'm so happy that I get to have those Christmas lights up, and we did like multicolored. It's so cool. So cool. Alicia, wonderful and looking forward to Christmas. Doing well, halfway through my cozy rewrite. Thanksgiving was great. Got to see some family. Oh, that's awesome. I am actually 800 words away from reaching 50K in my newest cozy mystery. So hopefully tomorrow's the last day of NaNoWriMo, and I will be able to finish my first draft of Literary Stitches. My Thanksgiving was really nice, filled with family, food, laughter, and a small gathering. I love that. Our Thanksgiving was small and quiet, just the way I like it. Yes. Xmas is so exciting, but it's peak season for work, so it's mixed. I get that. Hello, Jennifer. Yay. Okay. So I'm gonna get Bait and Witch up so that I can read the synopsis. While I'm reading the synopsis, if you guys would give me how many Cleos or how many stars you gave Bait and Witch by Angela Sanders. And what's fantastic is I got to meet her when I went to Ashland in October. And so this was really, really cool to be able to, I love being able to meet in person, just cozy mystery writers. It's just so fun. Okay, so Josie Way loved working among the Library of Congress's leather-scented stacks until she uncovered corruption and made herself a target. As Wilfred, Oregon's new librarian, Josie can stay undercover until the case goes to court. But Life in this little town isn't as subdued as she's expected. The library, housed in a Victorian mansion, is slated to be bulldozed. Still digesting the news that her safe haven is about to become scrap lumber, Josie discovers a body in the woods. Almost as shocking, Josie learns that she's descended from a line of witches and her powers have suddenly sprung to life. With the help from a spoiled alley cat who may just be her familiar, Josie's thumbing through a catalog of suspects, hoping she can conjure a way to save her library and her life. Bum, bum, bum. All right. Oh, Ivy! Happy early birthday! Yes. Okay, we've got 3 Cleos, 4, 4, 3, 3.5, 4, 4 Cleos, 5 Cleos. Guys, meeting Angela was great. Wasn't it, MB? Like, it was just, she's just so sweet. I am so excited that there are so many people who are in this book. 3.5 stars, almost DNF'd Christian, really. The beginning was so slow. I liked the characters at the end. That's one thing. So this is kind of off topic, but not really. So I just got a rejection letter for Death on Deck, which I've gotten a lot of rejection letters for Death on Deck, but I'm taking it as I go. But this is the very first time that I've gotten a rejection letter that has actually given me real feedback as to why they rejected me. And she said that I only sent my first 2 chapters, and there is a scene where the main character is looking at a mantelpiece and looking at sort of a timeline of her friends and herself getting older in their friendships, 50 years worth of memories. And little bits and ones are peeking out. She told me that I needed to either trim or get rid of that because it slowed the beginning of the book down, which I thought was really, really interesting because I had a lot of beta readers that didn't tell me that the beginning slowed it down. So it's really interesting seeing what you guys think is slow versus what other people think is slow. But I agree. I believe that I kind of feel like it was slow at the end. Or at the beginning? What do you guys think? I listened to this one on audiobook, which is not normal for me during reading a book club book. So how did you guys read it? Did you guys do audiobook, ebook, or did you do a physical book? Because I feel like that reading actually sort of changes how you take in the book, because I finally listened to it on audiobook at 2 speeds. So I didn't feel a lot of the slowdown, but that's probably because I listen at a faster rate than I read. I what do you, I liked, Alicia, you tandem read it. She listened and she read it at the same time. If I have time during being a mom of a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, I would love to be able to tandem read a book. I just would dig being able to listen to it and follow it on the page and be able to highlight and annotate as I was going. So I love that you were able to do that. It took a while to get into it, audiobook. It took a while for me to get invested. Did the Kindle ebook. I do a lot of audiobook for others though. I read the book a while ago and I listened to the book for review club or I listened to the book for review for club. It was slow reading and it didn't bother me listening. That's good. Audiobook, I didn't find it to be slow and I listened at normal speed. Yeah, my sister says that I listen at chipmunk speed, which she's probably not wrong, but I talk really fast. So I also need to learn that not everybody listens or talks as fast as I do. So one of my favorite things. So as we're reading the book, Josie undergoes quite the magical transformation, which I thought was really, really cool in the way that it was sort of written out. What were you what magical ability of hers did you find the most interesting or surprising? And if you had to have a magical ability, any of her powers, what would you have? One of the things that I thought was really, really, really cool is the fact that I loved that the library talked to her, that she was able to have that connection with the library. And even though she didn't know what it was, like she felt so connected to the books that she was able to give the perfect read to someone. Like, as someone who has been doing YouTube since 2017 and has been like reviewing and like being a book pusher, if you will, I would love to be able to do like bibliotherapy, which like Ellery Adams does in her Secret Book and Scone Society. I thought that that was the coolest thing, but I want to know what your guys' thoughts were. Christian, I also did audio. It helped at the end, but the beginning was slow. I think if we knew who the victim was and was able to start to wonder how she was connected to the town, it would be better. I kind of agree. One of the things that I thought was really, really interesting that not a lot of cozy mysteries do is they give you like a reason to hate the person that got killed, right? Or they give you a reason to be sympathetic towards the victim. This was one of the very first cozies that I've read where we didn't find out the name of the victim until like I think it was like I was going through and making the character list this afternoon during my lunch, and I was looking and I was looking and I was writing people's names down, but it took me like almost to the very end to be able to find that the victim's name was she's almost all the way down at the bottom, like the third from the last, January Stevens. It took a really long time to figure it out. So I kind of agree with that. Um, I have the ebook but borrowed the audiobook. Nice. It's great to tandem read, especially for heavy books. Demon Copperhead and Claude Cuckoo Land? I've never heard of that book. I loved how the books talked to her and gave her suggestions. Yes, wish books talked to me. Wouldn't that be glorious? I love it. As a bookseller, the talking library was something I would love to have. I remember I used to work at Books a Million in Tulsa. And one of the things that like I loved being able to do was go and someone would be like, the cover's blue with like a woman on it. And like Renee, like as someone who's part of a bookstore, like that is how many blue covers with a woman on it or the Eiffel Tower on it. But it was so much fun to be able to go, oh, okay, I found it. I agree with throwback gaming. The victim being so random and unconnected for so long wasn't the best. There were a couple of times I was just enjoying the characters and setting and forgot about the murder. Yes. The just I really who was your favorite who were your guys' favorite characters? Because for me, my favorite characters were I loved Rosalind. She was fantastic. She was hilarious. I loved her. And I liked Ruth Littlewood, and I liked Darla, but I wasn't like attached to Darla. Uh let's see. Her connection to the books is my favorite, and that gets better and better with each book in the series. Yeah, how many books in the series are there, Cat Reads? Um I loved her connection to the books. It gets better. That's part of the reason why I had a hard time getting connected. There was no connection to the victim. Her being able to hear the library talk to her, especially when she was upset and knew the library was too, and could hear the library moan. I loved her ability for suggestions for others. I agree it felt random and unconnected to the main plot. The murder felt like a side plot to the library being destroyed. I can totally see that. Lol, Courtney working at BAM. I'm at Second and Charles Sister Stores. Yep, I worked at BAM for I think it was like 2 or 3 years. Yes, Roz and Ruth, they were fantastic. Yes, I love it. Knowing what kind of people books needed. Ross reminded me of the same. Yes, yes. Mike Wazowski, you haven't filed your paperwork. Uh Roz and Rodney. Oh, the cat was wonderful. I loved it. Oh, there are 4 books out, and the 5th one comes out in February. I did think that this was a solid first book in a series. I really enjoyed it. halfway through book 2. Good to know, Jenna. Okay, so you guys know I'm very random when it comes to book club. If you have suggestions on how you want me to run the discussion, go right ahead and let me know on Patreon, because I just kind of go word vomit my way out. Okay, we sort of already answered that question. Did you guys see the murder coming, or were you as shocked as Josie when the body turned up? Like, I know that we've sort of hinted at it, but it was really, really just like random. Like, I loved the idea of her running away from being a whistleblower in Washington, D.C., in the Library of Congress. Like, I thought that that was a really, really cool sort of like backstory past that she was running away from. I hadn't read a starting over, because most cozy mysteries, it's like the main character in the first book is starting over. They're turning a new leaf, like something is going on, right? um i I wondered, like, how she was going to connect those things, but I really liked the way that um they started out her story. But I do think that it took too long to figure out who the um who the victim was. But I do like, so some of the red herrings that made you second guess or think, like, who is this person going to be? They talked, oh, I've got a sneeze coming on. Um they talked about how maybe someone mistook January for Josie. And then, like, there were just some back and forth, but I never really felt like the connection, or like I really didn't understand until we got about 65% of the way through, and we realized that January Stevens was a fixer in Washington, D.C. She was sent by the crooked senator and his head of staff to sort of pay off Josie for what she heard in the library with her partner Anton. And if she didn't take, I think it was like, was it 10,000? I think it was 10,000 or $20,000 that that what was her name? Lalina Dolby, the sheriff's sister, found basically underneath her trailer. Um, I was able to connect the dots, but I feel like I wish that I was able to connect the dots a little bit earlier on. Um, let's see. Loved Roz and Lyndon. Lyndon, oh my gosh. Thought that she was shy, especially when she told him how she felt about him. I was shipping that relationship the whole entire time I was reading the book. Murder seemed disconnected, but because we didn't know who it was for a while. The plot seemed interesting with the beginning, but I felt like why the victim was killed seemed odd, and it was hard to figure out. I agree. Figure out I did not figure out like that connection until it was basically like, here's the connection, Courtney, as I was reading. So what were your guys' thoughts of the threat of the library's demolition, adding sort of a ticking clock to the story? Did it give you a sense of urgency as you were reading? Were you rooting like extra hard for Josie to solve the mystery in time to save the library? Like, where were you most invested when it came to almost the two different plots that were coming out ahead in the book? And did you like the fact that there were two different plots sort of like meandering, and did you feel like one was lifted up higher than the other? I really would like to know what you guys thought about that, because I'm one of those. I know that there are some people who absolutely hate a mystery within a mystery, and then there's like me who loves the mystery within a mystery. I love that a author can dangle different little things throughout the story or throughout the series that it keeps me wanting to buy more. It makes me want to like pick it up and go, okay, so what's going to happen next? What is that backstory? Like, what are your guys' thoughts about it? Jennifer, I think I was invested in learning so much about Josie that the victim took a backseat for me. I usually don't feel that way about cozies, but I liked the main character so much. So did I, Jennifer. I did too. I felt the murder was second to the story of Josie in the library. I found myself focusing more on Josie than the murder. And is that necessarily a bad thing with a first cozy mystery? Like, in my mind, I really want to know more about the character, about the cozy setting, which I do want to know. Did you guys feel like Wilfred, I think was it Wilfred or Winifred, the place where she was staying at? I think it was Wilfred. Did you guys feel like it felt cozy enough like a character, or were you guys like it was just a place? I want to know that as well. Um I liked that I liked that element, but you knew that they would stop it or it would be a very short series. Yeah. Was more invested in the library, really mystery within a mystery. But the murder was secondary. I was most invested in the saving of the library. It was so loved and needed by the town. It was like a member of the town. Yeah, exactly. I feel like I didn't get too salty about the fact that the town didn't feel like a cozy town because the library did. The library felt like the heart of the town, especially when Josie started like creating that sort of dossier of all of the things that the library had done for the community. I really liked I really liked that aspect, the building of the community, and I felt like there was a lot there to keep me drawn in with the characters. I felt like her focus was on saving the library over who killed January. I think it was Stevens, January Stevens. Yeah. The murder seemed like a side plot that she only focused on once in a while because it was to wrap up the plot. I really liked the dual plots. I wish there was a better balance between the two. The victim and Josie's whistleblowing was kind of sidelined. Yeah, until the very end, right? Like, ugh. Continued the series to find out more about Josie. Good to know. In a cozy, I come for the mystery and stay for the characters. Yes. So this book was a good fit for me. I love that, April. I loved the setting, super cozy and fun. I would love to see someone paint or draw the library building. Visualizing it was fun. It was so cool. I loved it. Yes, well said MV. I agree. I love it. I always tell people that I stay for the murder or I come for the murder, but I stay for the friends. Um, Knitting Club was hilarious. So much shade thrown. That could have been a spinoff I would have read. Yes, I lived for those sassy characters. You guys know how I am about my sassy, like feisty characters. They give me life. And I loved the Knitting Club because in the end, the Knitting Club had like heart. Like they came at the end when they realized that they had lost being able to save the library. And they were like, we're going out with a bang. We're going to have a party. We're cleaning up this library. We're going to party all night. And I loved that so flipping much. Um, Let me see. Um, were there any standout moments or scenes that made you go, wow, or oh no? So basically, as we're going, or as we're reading through the book, we find that there's a lot going on. There's the sale of the library, which there's a whole entire like political system with the trustees. And one of the trustees, I think her name was it Iona? Yeah. Iona or Ilona Buckwalter. I felt like she was, I didn't feel like it was fair because even I thought that it was weird because even when the original Miss Wilfred gave the library or gave her estate to the town as a library, she said that no one was allowed to do anything like selling the library if it was benefiting them. It had to benefit the whole town. So I feel like as Iona being a real estate agent, her pushing so hard to sell the library and its land, I feel like that was a conflict of interest and that should have null and voided the sale in the first place. Um, but maybe I listened to that wrong and I read it wrong. You guys will have to let me know. But so we've got Josie leaving because she was a witness to something that she wasn't supposed to be a witness to. And so she's afraid for her life. So we've got that whole entire thing. Then we've got the sale of the library, and we have the like crookedness of the trustees and everything like that going on. And Josie's really trying to, even though she's only been there for like a week, I think total, she really starts to feel close to the library, the librarian assistants, the community, and she really is trying to save the library. Like, even though she wasn't thinking about staying there the whole entire time, she still had a heart for the books and a heart for the community. And so she's trying to push back on Iona. She's trying to contact the judge and give him reasonings on why the library is such a vital community resource. And then we've got Sam coming in, sort of the grandchild of the original owners, the original Wilfred settlers. And there's a whole bunch of shade being thrown on him for something that his grandfather, I think it was his grandfather did with the mystery behind the mill shutting down and burning down and people losing their homes. Like, I feel like there was a lot going on. So we find out, to sort of sum it up, we find out that Sam is actually an FBI agent, and he is tracking down the senator and his senior staff member, which was Richard White, the chief of staff to Senator Markham. And but he is also one of the people that had to sign to allow that the library to be sold. He thought that he was doing a service to the town because he hadn't been there, and he was trying to fix something that his grandfather did. And then the sheriff has like a lot of hands and a lot of pots. I did not pick up the sheriff being creepy, weird, and potential suspect until almost the end. Did you guys guess the whodunit? Because I did not guess the whodunit. I didn't really even have, like, I thought maybe Iona, but like, it didn't make sense as to why that woman was killed. Like, so I think that made it hard to be able to figure out the whodunit because there was no emotional connection to the murder victim at all. But we find that the sheriff is sort of he thought he was being blackmailed by Craig, who was sort of like this romantic playboy. He also like went into like gambling and blackmailing. The sheriff thought that Craig was blackmailing him for something that his grandfather did, which was he accidentally killed one of the union workers at the mill, and then that's why they had to burn down the mill to cover up the body. And the sheriff never wanted that horribleness to be a part of his family history. And so he was trying to find a way to like blame Sam for the murder, but then have Sam kill himself with the fish that he had given him. Like, it was very, very like convoluted, but also sort of made sense. Like, he just randomly killed the woman. I think from what I remember, I read it at the beginning of the month, but it felt a little rushed at the end. I still loved it, but it did feel a little rushed at the end. The big reveal was an oh no moment. I felt like the motive was out of left field since they didn't really discuss the past connection to the mill. The romance with Sam was an oh no too, since he was married. It seemed like he was kind of subtly flirting with Josie. I agree, but they did hint at the fact that he like maybe was getting a divorce, which does not, that's still not okay, my dude. I did guess the whodunit. I guessed randomly though, Lisa. I wasn't sure, but the sheriff gave me an uneasy feeling. Yeah, like slowly he just became more and more and more of a creeper. I didn't guess. Sheriff was never on my radar, and motive was a bit over the top. Yeah. I thought the first suspect was the killer. I thought he went into his ex house to hide the money at her house under the ruse of wanting to see her. Yeah, I agree. April did not figure it out. Yeah. And I didn't mind it because because sometimes I mind if the mystery doesn't really connect. And in the end, I'm still kind of like, huh. But I think that I loved the characters so much that it didn't bother me as much as it normally would have. I want to know, are you guys, I know that some of you have already said, but would you recommend this series to another person? And are you going to continue the series after uh afterwards? Because that's one of the fun things about book club that I love so much is that we always read the first book in the series, and then you can decide whether or not it's been a gateway into that series, or if you're like, you know what, glad I tried it, wasn't my cup of tea. I really, really want to know. So while you guys are telling me whether or not you want to read it, we are for the month of December. Remember, every December we don't vote for the cozy mystery book because I do the 12 days of Cosmas. So if you haven't gone and looked at my introductory video for the 12 days of Cosmas and how we're doing it this year, you can go and look at that. And then I also did a whole entire stack of Christmas books that I have not read yet in my library. But the book that we are reading, and we will meet on the last Wednesday of the month of December to talk about it, is A Christmas Candy Killing by Christina Ramaril. And this is a killer chocolate mystery series. I love the setup for this. Their chocolates are to die for, but things aren't so sweet when a real killer comes to town in this debut mystery. This is also a Canadian author, I found out. Identical twins, Alex and Hannah are the owners of Murder and Mayhem, a mystery bookshop that sells their famous poison-themed killer chocolates. But now there's a real killer in their midst. Shortly before Christmas, their septuagenarian neighbor, Jane, confides to Alex that a murderer from a true crime show has taken up residence in the village. Unfortunately, she also shared her suspicions with the town gossip Netta. The next morning, Alex shows up at Jane's house to watch the show, but instead discovers Jane's body with a box of killer chocolates nearby. The sheriff quickly zeroes in on the two suspects, Alex, a beneficiary in Jane's will, and Zach, a handyman who was seen leaving the crime. But Alex maintains her innocence and sets out to draft a list of other potential suspects, townsfolk, who recently had been seen arguing with Jane. When Alex gets a hold of Jane's journal, she begins to understand the truth. But a bearer of ill tidings is arriving early this year, and Alex just might not make it to Christmas. Bum, bum, bum. I'm really excited to read it. Let's see. I would recommend it. I have read all books, including The Galley for number 5. I recommended the series to 7 people already, and you are caught up. I would recommend it and already downloaded the next. Yay! Yes, would recommend it. And I have book 2, so we'll be continuing. Mixed feelings. I think if you went into the series to read about the characters instead of the mystery, then it would be good. I agree the plot was a little convoluted and there was a lot going on, but I think that tees up subsequent books nicely. Good. So excited for the December book. Yes, I've read the second and own the fourth. Won it in a mystery dinner in Ashland. Yay! The third is on my TBR. I want to read next in the series before I recommend. I won't do another audiobook because the narrator could have been Alexa reading a book out loud. I would recommend it for someone to try and decide if they would like it, but I will not continue the series. I didn't enjoy it enough, especially when I have so many series that I'm reading. I get that, Lisa. I loved the December book, just finished the second in the series. Yay! So when will book club be for the 12 days of Cosmas? Let me go look at my calendar. So it's always the last Wednesday of the month. So that's going to be on December 27th. Same time as normal, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I will be making a bookmark for the book as well as putting all the information on the Patreon. So make sure that you guys are following the Patreon. You do not have to pay for any tiers if you don't want to. The tiers just help me buy more things for book club. Like the money that I make may help me pay for this and better equipment and different things like that. So, book club is always free. I want to make sure that I, you know, make sure to say that. But um, I am so excited that you guys came and chatted with me. It is time for me to go put Alex to bed, but I will see you guys over on Instagram. I'm on there every single day, and I'll chat with you guys on Patreon and in the comments of my videos. But we will see each other next after Christmas. So if you celebrate Christmas or you celebrate holidays in December, I hope that you have an amazing holiday. I hope that you get to cuddle up, cozy up in a little area and be able to read and really, treat yourself. You deserve it just as much as anyone else. So, good night, everyone. I hope that you had a good time and are enjoying book club. But I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Good night, everyone.